I am taking my entire senior year this summer.
So I'll be skipping senior year of high school in favor of freshman year of college.
Gabe is absolutely outstanding, let me tell you. So apparently he spent his entire senior year of high school in one single summer. Because why not? Just so he could still qualify for that oh-so-precious free tuition to college. I mean, wowzers, right? And then there's Kody, who had no clue Gabe was pulling off this Herculean feat, and clearly didn't get it when Gabe tried to explain. The audacity of Kody, honestly. He was so shocked when Gabe said he could attend NSU with no tuition that he asked, "You don't want to go to UNLV?" Like, what? You literally yanked him from a full scholarship in Vegas, dragged him away from his friends, and now you're confused why he'd rather go to school in Flagstaff. Maybe just let Gabe focus on, I don't know, actually getting into college without your confusion and interference. And then when Gabe drops that he's working on a paper about college dropouts and the effects on the economy, well, Kody had the audacity to ask, "What? What class is this?" Gabe just stares at him and responds, "Economics," like duh. Clearly, Kody has no clue about the struggles and lives of the OG-13. But the real kicker? The reason Gabe was yanked from the scholarship in the first place, because Kody made such a big deal about making sure his kids didn't take loans. Dude had a kid with a full scholarship and still made a huge fuss. I honestly can't with him. And people wonder why this generation gets called lazy. Maybe it's because the adults around them have no clue how to support them without turning everything into a giant mess. Kody's the real tool here, not Gabe. We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel Reality Nexus X. Did Kody forget he's on TV? I'm watching the premiere of season 19 and just hit the part where Kody's talking about Janelle and Christine. He says something like, "If they trash me to the press, I can't imagine what they say to our children." Hey, genius, they're not trashing you. They're just talking about how their relationships with you fell apart and what it was like being with you. And even then, when the news of the breakups first hit, the focus was mostly on their lives moving forward, not on taking you down. It's almost like he forgets that he's been on TV for almost 2 decades and that his ex-wives don't need to trash him. He does that perfectly fine all by himself with the way he acts. And hello, Kody, most of your kids are either grown or nearly grown. They can form their own opinions about you. Your ex-wives aren't the ones alienating you, you're doing that all on your own. Knowing this footage was filmed in 2022, I really hope he's not still stuck in this paranoid delusion where he thinks his ex-wives are trying to ruin his reputation. He did that to himself. It's like when you tell your wives you're no longer attracted to them and don't want to be married. It's not a surprise when they decide to divorce you. I was honestly floored when he said, "It's not divorce that sucks, it's marrying the wrong person." Seriously? If I were Mary, I would have jumped across that table at him. It's actually been kind of satisfying to see Kody and Robyn getting called out a bit more in this episode. How do you marry the wrong woman? Is he trying to rewrite history here? Robyn really needs to start managing him better because he's just being a huge jerk. And just think, this is only what we see. Can you imagine what it was actually like living with this guy? He's just awful. Kody's parenting skills continue to be a shining example of what not to do. This particular gem comes during the episode where all the wives head out for a fun-filled evening on the Vegas Strip, leaving Kody to hold down the fort with the kids. He starts off at Christine's house, hanging out with the little ones until bedtime, which, sure, seems responsible enough. But here's where it all goes downhill. When bedtime rolls around, the kids are shuffled off to their respective homes, each with teenagers supposedly capable of overseeing them. So Kody, ever the devoted father, heads back to Robyn's place, because of course it's her night, leaving his infant daughter truly in the care of a teen. A A teenager who's probably more concerned about their own plans than being a substitute parent for an actual baby. We even get a heartwarming moment of Kody saying goodbye to the teen, who's holding Truly in a chair like she's some sort of decorative accessory, rather than a helpless child. And look, I get it, he was supposed to be at Robyns that night, and every other house had older kids to watch the younger ones. But seriously, why would he leave his infant daughter with a teenager, especially when she was still wide awake? Common sense might suggest staying at Christine's house for a bit longer, putting Truly to bed, and being the responsible father he's supposed to be. But of course, that would require him to care about his own child, rather than simply dumping her on someone else. Remember that lovely moment when Christine tried to talk about her kids' routines, and Kody basically shrugged it off. Yeah, he was as helpful as a screen door on a submarine, immediately passing the responsibility onto her other kids instead of taking any real initiative. Classic Kody. Kody, the guy who somehow managed to make helping put the kids to bed a monumental task, yet conveniently found the time to do everything for Robyn. It's honestly hard to wrap your head around why he wouldn't help Christine and Lee, especially when she's working. She needed him to do something as simple as check on the kids, which would have taken maybe 10 minutes. But no, apparently that was too much for him. His excuse? He had other wives and kids that needed him. And this was coming from the guy who constantly bragged about how convenient it was to have everyone under the same roof in one big house. It's funny how he never had a problem running around to tend to Robyn's kids, even though they were in separate houses, every night, in the cul-de-sac, but somehow checking on Christine's kids, who were literally just down the hall, was beyond him. Classic Kody logic, right? He made it sound like she was asking him to move in full-time, not just help the kids get to bed. And surprise, surprise, she wasn't his favorite, so she didn't get any of that active and involved dad treatment. He likes to claim he's this amazing father, but his actions scream otherwise. Polygamy and his packed schedule were just his go-to excuses to dodge anything remotely inconvenient. Then Robyn comes along, and suddenly he's this model father, capable of doing all the things he pretended to be too busy for before. But here's the kicker, he wasn't busy. He was just lazy, selfish, and preferred to avoid anything he didn't feel like doing. Putting kids to bed, especially when there are a bunch of them, is hardly the most fun thing on the planet. So, no thanks. Let's be real. Kody is just a petty little twerp who holds grudges like a toddler and punishes anyone who crosses him, even if they don't realize they've done so. Christine had the audacity to be outgoing, charismatic, and, dare I say, more interesting than him. And we all know Kody's ego couldn't handle that. So what does he do? He punishes her through her kids, because why not make her life harder? Season 15, Episode 2. What a goldmine of drama. This is the episode that somehow manages to be both hilarious and cringeworthy at the same time. So picture this. The adults, for reasons I can only assume were driven by the production company's desperate attempt to give the Darkers a reality show, head off on a road trip to Utah. And of course, no one is thrilled about the idea of being crammed into a single vehicle for hours. But you know who's really not happy about it? Kody. It absolutely kills him. And as the clock ticks down and they're late, they shove everything into Christine's SUV, and surprise, Christine takes full advantage of this little opportunity to casually roast Kody the entire time. It's glorious. Kody, in return, gets even grumpier and twitchier, which, honestly, is like comedy gold. It even gets Robyn to crack a smile. It's a minor miracle. But wait, there's more. Because just when you think things can't get any better, bam, flat tire. Guess who's the target of more Christine snark? Yep. It's Kody again, and it's absolutely hilarious. Finally, they make it to the Darter's place, and Joe, with his 3 wives, sits down with the group. The topic of one house, one family comes up. One of the Darter wives starts talking about her bond with the kids who aren't her biological children. And hold up, Here it comes. Robyn, in a rare moment of clarity, gets real. It really pricked my heart, she says, because I know what it's like to not have that. And then, in a rare moment of true self-awareness, she adds, I'm just going to be frank here, I'm like a stepmom. I will always want and promote those relationships as much as I possibly can, but it has been a source of sadness for me. And you know what? Bravo, Robyn, you finally nailed it. But here's the thing she may never fully grasp. Robyn, sweetheart, you're the stepmom because of your own actions. Let's be real. One of the brilliant commenters nailed it a while back. Robyn wanted the plural family life, but she didn't want to put in the effort. She thought she could waltz in and have the other wives and kids just accept her the way Kody did. She assumed her kids deserved special treatment and the other kids, well, they were just the other kids. I mean, maybe the outcome wouldn't have been drastically different. Kody's still Kody, after all, but who knows? Robyn might have actually kept her plural family if she had just put in some effort and not treated everyone else like extras in her little drama. And speaking of differences, let's break it down. Janelle was pregnant with Logan when Christine married Kody. All of the older Brown kids grew up with the OG 3 wives as moms, living in one house, whether it was the first house or the setup in Lee. Robyn, on the other hand, never lived with them, except for that brief stint in the Vegas vacation rental, which doesn't really count. Meanwhile, Joe Darger's first 2 wives courted him at the same time and got married on the same day. The third wife? Well, she's literally the twin of the other non-legal wife. These people have been together for ages, so Robyn's situation, not exactly comparable. Now, if Robyn had let Christine babysit her younger kids, instead of trying to play the I know everything about polygamy card and actually listen to the other wives, maybe, just maybe, she could have become part of the crew instead of remaining the outsider. Sure, she had concerns about Peyton bullying her girls, but what if she had just tried it and addressed that problem if it actually happened? It would have probably helped Gwen, too. But Robyn, she never gave it a chance. She was too wrapped up in her own immaturity to even try. And well, I mean, look at her husband. That explains a lot, doesn't it? Okay, let's all just admit it. Kody and Robyn totally got married before the cameras started rolling. It's pretty obvious when you think about it. TLC definitely didn't want the truth to get out, so they built this whole Robyn is new to the family storyline and made sure we got to film that big wedding moment. Classic reality TV drama, right? But if Mike Kelty's running down there to help with the kids, I mean, she clearly knew Robyn already. And let's be real, Christine would never let her daughter live with some random woman she didn't even know. Come on, Robyn was already in the rotation from the start. Otherwise, how on earth was Kody spending so much time with her when they were basically broke? They were so desperate to follow the religion, but oh wait, they kissed on camera. Yeah, right. No way they'd allow that to be filmed, let alone actually do it. So yeah, it only makes sense that they were already married before the show began. Otherwise, all these little pieces of the puzzle just don't fit. And yes, I'm on board with the theory that Robyn wasn't some stranger Kody met out of the blue. Robyn lived 4 hours away from Lee, and Kody's traveling around for work selling ads. You seriously think he didn't meet her long before the show said he did? Please. It makes way more sense that they had some secret religious ceremony, which, let's be real, no one else could attend. Then, of course, they dragged out the engagement for the cameras. That's how Robyn got her precious rotation time. Kody and Robyn weren't about to wait around for the TV show to give them permission to act like a married couple. 2 grown adults, deeply religious, with a fast-track courtship. Yeah, they weren't wasting any time. And as for Mary finding Robyn, please. I think Mary was just the one roped into the task of bringing Robyn into the family. The first 3 wives, yeah, they looked thrilled about the idea of adding someone new. They clearly had zero say in the matter. Kody wanted it, so Kody got it. Christine flat out said she didn't want another wife. Janelle was like, "We can't even afford 4 more mouths, plus Robyn's dead, and Mary? Her ring was melted down. What choice did she really have?" This theory, though, it actually makes sense. It explains so much of the awkwardness from the first season. The timeline was all over the place, and it was shot out of order. There's even a group photo from the early days where Robyn's already in the picture with the OG wives. And Mary still has long hair. This wasn't filmed at the start of the show. Gwen even admitted that whole scene about asking Robyn to join the family was totally a recreation. Look, I can't prove it, but I absolutely believe Kody and Robyn had a private ceremony before their big televised wedding. At this point, I wouldn't be shocked if a tell-all, interview, or book eventually confirmed it. But here's where I put on my tinfoil hat. I wonder if Kody and Robyn had some kind of secret ceremony without the OG3 even knowing about it. Just think about it. They could have done that to avoid any guilt about having marital relations. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. He actually said that. Just caught the new episode, and in the trailer for the rest of the season, he has the audacity to say, "Blame yourself if I don't love you." Seriously? This guy is a walking joke. Out of all the ridiculous things that have come out of his mouth, this one should have been the final straw. I mean, even number 4 should have been like, "Wow, you're completely out of your mind." I'm done. But nope, here comes the clingy behavior again. If he'd said something like, "Blame yourself if I'm broke," now that would be a real deal breaker. But nope, she's still holding on. Imagine if he had said, "We could have stayed in Vegas, and I would have saved a fortune," or "My family's the only thing standing in the way of my goals." Classic Kody, right? Honestly, it's pathetic, but Mary would probably still take him back if he suddenly asked for reconciliation. Remember when he needed her to help him court Robyn? Needed her to pretend their marriage was still solid for a show contract. Yeah, she's been his backup plan for as long as she's been around, whether it's to help with the optics or to provide financial support while he chases whatever fantasy he's got going on. I'm so curious about how Christine filing for child support is going to play out for Kody and Robyn. Honestly, it's like watching a slow-motion train wreck. Robyn's entire existence revolves around her kids, like she's obsessed with them being safe and sound, to the point of keeping them in a bubble until they're 30. But at the core of it all, what really matters to her is making sure those kids are financially set. I mean, who doesn't want their kids to have a solid financial future? But Robyn takes it way to the next level. Sure, Kody won't exactly be living in a cardboard box, but this is definitely going to throw every asset into question, and whatever back pay is owed. Oh, it's going to sting. Hard. And let's not even get started on the financials being laid bare for everyone to see. That's got to be a nightmare for them. Kody won't even answer simple questions this season, which is kind of a clue that he knows things are unraveling. Once that show money dries up, Robyn's bouncing. She might try to sell a Robyn single life spin-off, but good luck with that. She's the most hated person on that show. The only thing she could sell is $25 tickets to throw balls at her in a dunk tank at the state fair. That's it. And let's be real, Robyn is never going to let a single cent go to truly over her own kids, even though she'll claim Kody is such a great father when it suits her. It's laughable. But hey, Christine really timed that child support move perfectly, didn't she? Kody's about to be financially screwed, and I couldn't be more delighted. It's pretty sickening how Kody made a conscious choice to have 13 kids, and then just bailed on all of them for Robyn and her 3 kids, plus the 2 they have together. Absolutely sick. Robyn's got Kody questioning everything about her now. You know, the stuff he already knew but suddenly seems to be super mad about. She talks about him being angry, not just at her, but at the whole world. So Kody, ever the master of clarity, says, "I'm going through a divorce. Give me time to get over it." I'll get over it. I think, yeah, he really seems to be processing that. Maybe it's dawning on him that Robyn's whole vibe, her need to control things, actually played a role in Christine's departure. Honestly, it almost feels like Robyn had a goal here: get Christine out of the picture. Christine wasn't exactly the easiest to deal with, and honestly, she wasn't exactly pulling her weight financially compared to Mary and Janelle. Plus, she didn't exactly roll over when Robyn entered the scene. She didn't just let Robyn take over the whole family dynamic. And don't get me started on the "you only need 3 wives to get into the kingdom" thing. Mary, always neglected but clinging on for dear life, and Janelle, just happy to do her own thing, both were easy targets for Kody. But Robyn, I don't think she ever cared for the other wives thing in the picture. She probably just wanted Christine out of the way, because Christine was the heart of the family, and Robyn, she was just trying to carve her own little corner as the favorite. Less competition, more attention for her. It's clear now, she wanted the other wives to just hang around, quietly neglected while she lived the life she always dreamed of. She needed them to keep contributing financially to her lifestyle, to serve as punching bags for Kody's temper. And with the others gone, well, Robyn will soon find out that Kody's dissatisfaction has nowhere left to go but to her and her kids. But here's the thing. What is Kody really upset about with his divorces? He pushed Mary aside. He told Christine he didn't want to be married to her anymore. And he spent years trashing Janelle. So what's he complaining about? He got exactly what he wanted. But of course, the whole thing reeks of a setup. Kody and Robyn seemed to have this whole move to Flagstaff thing planned, and the goal was simple: get access to the original wise money and distance themselves from the family assets. Robyn pretended to not want to buy a house, and bam, suddenly she had all the money and no house to build. Convenient, right? Then came the whole "I'm not attracted to her anymore" routine, like he was trying to make it easier to abandon the relationship on camera. It's all so staged. And let's not forget Dayton getting his own RV. So much for family unity. Here's the kicker though, Kody's married to Robyn now, which makes it even harder for him to justify taking money from his other wives and giving it to her. He's legally bound to Robyn, so where's his excuse for the whole taking from the single wives to support his new wife thing? It's not gonna fly in court, especially with all the kids involved. Talk about a mess of bad decisions. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all.